John? Oh, sorry. And what we're looking for is great stories about Middlefield, positive stories, interesting stories, fun things, a lot of fun things that I'm sure you've been involved in. And also just events, as someone said, your weddings, your memories about Middlefield. And the reason we're doing this is not just to also catch the events and the histories of Middlefield, but to catch the treasures of Middlefield, and that's all of you. So if anybody else wants to say something, we'd like to have you on tape, and Helen is getting people who aren't speaking, so you all will be on the video. But we'd love to have you say something if you'd like to. Okay, so we're going to start with Wayne. Okay, so Wayne, why don't you begin, and then the next person just begin after Wayne.
Okay, well, the best story I can think of is about Bill Cook, which is Charlie's brother. Bill hunted with us quite a few years, a lot of years actually, and you never knew what he was going to do. He had a tractor, in fact I think it's still over there, 8-in Ford, and he was working around his pond, which is a nice little pond, and he called me and said, "Wayne," I said, "What?" He said, "Can you come over?" I said, "What's going on?" He says, "I got my tractor stuck down by the pond." So I drove over and looked down, didn't see the tractor. So I went in the house and said, "Bill, what's going on? Where'd the tractor go?" He says, "It's about 40 foot off the high side in the pond." I said, "Really?" I said, "How did you get in there?" He says, "I was trying to stuff it in first, and it was in neutral, so I rode it right into the pond." And I said, "Well, how'd you get out?" He said, "Well, when I went to the bottom, I just let go of the wheel and closed it on." And he was 90-something at that time.
Wow. Yes.
That was so interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
Typical Bill Cook, though.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
I remember going to school here in this building, and it was a divided building. One side had first, second, third, and fourth grades with Yolanda Romano, my first year, and the second side was with Mrs. Hunt for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. This is before the new school was built, which is now the town hall. And we would, during recess, when we couldn't go outside, we would dance to the local 50 musics. And we did a lot of dancing here. It was great fun.
Yeah, we also went over the upper class group. There was 2 boys in every day. We'll go over to the store and get our drinking water for us.
Yeah.
And they put in a thing out in the hallway with a dipper. We had to drink. That was our water for the day to drink with.
All out of the same dipper.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. We're a family.
Hey, we didn't think about things in those days.
Well, speaking of the store, we moved up here in 1954 and been in the same house ever since. And when we first went over to George's store, which is across the street, he had, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but they had booths in the back where he served ice cream. Whatever. I don't know if he sold sandwiches or not, but he served ice cream, and he had everything that you wanted there.
Yep.
If you needed it, if you didn't see it there, you didn't need it. But if you did need it, he would go to the city and bring it back. And as I remember, they had the post office up in front in the corner. And I know when I was postmaster there, I had to close the post office and run over next door to go to the bathroom because we didn't have a bathroom in the store. So, but if you didn't need it, if he didn't have it, you didn't need it, and if you needed it, he got it for you. Everything, including panes of glass, because my kids would be playing out in the yard, and a ball would come through, and before I would go up and get a pane of glass to put in, glazing and everything he had, before their father got home, so that he wouldn't know they had broken the window. So he was great. So.
He had
Well,
good
Wayne,
donuts,
how
too.
long did you run the store, you and Archie?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not even sure.
Because you guys had it for a
Tell you
while.
the truth, yeah. I bought it in 70. No,
I can't remember, but that's when I got a bathroom.
73, yeah,
That's when I got a
that's
bathroom.
monumental, yeah.
It was, yeah.
73 to, gee, I lost track, total track of time.
Yeah. Time flies.
Got your gas over there and everything.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love George's
matter
jelly donuts. Oh, he got good jelly donuts.
Kamenikis.
They were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to pick him up, I continued his routine every week.
And if you wanted them, he would get you some.
Yeah.
To take
He gives
home.
you anything you want.
yeah.
We moved into Middlefield in 1956, which is on River Road, which we call Whoville for one reason or another. But there was 4 kids, and 3 of us were in school, but there was no way for us to get to school in Middlefield. They couldn't get down to get us. They hadn't developed the equipment yet to pick up kids to go to school up that hill. So we went to school for 2 years in Chester. Well, anyway, we finally came to Chester and started at the school there. And over the years, I got to like this girl, which is Dodie. Of course, she lived a couple miles from the house, and that was the only kid in the neighborhood. So I'd get my dog and the bike, and up the hill we'd go and go up to the house. I never went to the house. This had to be in the, at that time was probably in the 63, 64, somewhere in that, maybe a little earlier. I'd never go to the house because I was afraid of her dad. Oh, God.
Good reason.
So I had the dog, and the dog would run around out there, and pretty soon her father, Ed, would say, that Guyad kid must be out there again. I see the dog. So out she'd come. Well, over the years, we developed a relationship, and I remember once up at the school, she started pointing her finger at me. So when she did, I broke it. So they, and I think at the time she had a bad foot. She had an operation or something on her foot. Well, who was it? Waite, Mrs. Waite, made me take care of her books and everything. I had to sit in the front seat with her. And,
Yeah.
but anyway, and everybody said that it would, that relationship would never last. Well, finally in 1965, after I got my license, my mother had gone to a party somewhere over in East Hampton, and me and her took her over. So while she was busy getting to feeling good, me and her went to the jewelry place and bought her a diamond ring. Would be for her, what was it, a junior in high school? So we got engaged anyway when she was a junior in high school. So, and that was in 1960, that had to be 1965.
That's great.
But we used to have some tremendous fights, but her mother said it'll never work. But anyway, I graduated out of high school in 67, I believe.
Yep.
And no marriage then because she was still in school and I had to go to Vietnam, so there was no marriage there. So when I came home from Vietnam in 69, most naturally that was the farthest thing from my mind. I had seen and done too much to be interested in any marriage. So she had questioned me about it, and I said, nope. I said, I don't think that's going to happen. That just ain't going to work. So her and her sister tricked me into going. Where did I go? Over to Janie's? Her and Angie got me to go to a lunch over to Janie's, her other sister. And the wedding was on. They put a wedding together in just a few weeks. You know, the power of women.
Wow. That was already
So
story.
we got married up, and I think I spent 2 days home, and then I was off to Athens, Greece for 2.5 years, and in a few months' time she come over and we lived over there for 2.5 years, and had our son was born over there, and come home, bought a house on River Road, and we've been down River Road, and we just celebrated 50 years of
Wow.
marriage
Congratulations.
in August. So it's been quite a ride
Yeah.
in more than 50 years, probably closer to 60 years. I've been associated with her. The love of my life, right there. There she is.
Well, we lived in Middlefield all of our life. We lived up where Wayne Main lived, that was our first place. And in '63, we bought the Herring Farm on Chipman Road. We moved our cows down there in '63. We had to travel back and forth from there to our house every morning and night to do chores because we had to do the house from the cellar up in order to live in it, because you couldn't live in it. So it was a whole year before we moved down there. And my mother would come down once in a while and see how we were doing and chores and everything. She would walk down because my father had the car. And we did sugaring down there. We did over 300 taps. My father, my brother, and my brother-in-law built the sugar house that we had. And it's still there today. Yep. We did farming all of our life.
Who lived in the farm across the river on River Road over there in Chester? You know, the one down below where I lived?
Elmer
The Miller
Rose,
sisters?
Elmer Rose.
No, next one down, farther south. Wasn't that a Miller?
That was the Miller, that was the Miller
sisters.
homestead.
Yep.
That was where my grandfather was brought up.
That was Hugh?
My grandfather Miller, yep. And my father farmed down there for a few
Yeah.
years and before he bought the place up here.
Yeah, I
He
thought
had-
so.
He had Guernsey cows then.
Yeah.
But we didn't have no cows until we all wanted them, so we got cows.
And your family was one of the longest farming
Yeah,
families in this town.
yeah,
They're milkers, you always had milkers?
yeah,
Now they're all beef.
yeah, now they're beef.
It's beef.
I remember Angie and Rod's wedding, which was, as you said earlier, at the Golden Globe, which is now burned down.
Wow.
And it was a big town event. I must have been a young teenager, but it was very important to see Angie and Rod get married, who were, you know, the leading young people in our community, the people we looked up to and saw that, you know, they were getting married, and it was a wonderful event. And,
It was.
I'm sorry about your daughter.
Well, we were right next door to the Golden Globe,
Yeah,
so we could see it all. And Julie was, she was 5 years old, and I was pregnant for Michael, who was born in October, so that had to be, what, 1958 you were married? What's that? 58?
I was 11.
Yeah, because, and anyway, we were watching you, and she wanted to see you because of your dress, and she thought that was wonderful, but she was walking and doing something, which she was, like a tomboy, and
We all
she
did.
fell, and she missed a hole, and she fell and broke her arm. And that was the end of your wedding for us, because we picked her up and raced down to the doctor's, and then we had to take her down to the hospital to get it set. But it was a special day for us when you were married. Although we didn't really know you that well, because we hadn't been there quite that long, so. But I have to tell you, you were married 50 years. We've been married 71 years.
Congratulations.
In September.
Wow.
This coming September?
Last September.
Oh, past
70
September.
71 years.
Whoa.
Yeah, we were married in 48.
Man, I'm just a
Been
beginner.
here a long time. Yeah, just a kid. Just a kid.
You were married the year I was born.
Yeah, see,
Do you remember the
I tell my
fair?
doctors that.
Do you remember the fair and the activities on the
Yeah.
fair? Because that was one of about 5 events that I grew up with. One was the chicken pie coon supper.
Yeah.
One was the maple
Sugar dance.
sugar eat.
Sugar dance.
The fair, the hay ride, and then also the Platzers had a Christmas party, which was really a
Oh, yes.
wonderful celebration. And remembering the Platzers, that how they welcomed us into their home, it was greatly decorated, and they had the best sugar cookies, sugar butter cookies in the whole world. I've never been able to replicate them, but, you know, I keep thinking about them every single Christmas. And it was such a hospitable experience to have that celebration of
Yeah.
Christmas there.
Yeah.
But at the fair, I was really big on having water fights. Any of the boys that I liked, I would throw a bucket of water at them
Start, right?
and run, and learned how to leap over those fences, you know, with
Yeah.
I couldn't, you know, do it now, and I never saw them again. I pushed them over.
I don't know why.
I know, not at all.
Can't imagine.
Well, the coon suppers, we used to get the coons.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
My brother used to go hunting, George Bell used to
George
hunt.
Bell.
George, yep,
We used to
And
supply
Grandma
the
Cook
coon.
used to, Grandma Bell used to cook them.
absolutely, yep.
Yeah, we used to supply
Yeah.
the coon, and then we waited on tables at the coon suppers.
Yes.
That was fun, we thought, when we were younger.
Yeah,
It was.
It was
we
fun.
did.
And then we'd all
Shirley
go
and
down to the
Priscilla
dance.
Bates after
We
that.
walk
Yeah,
from
so
the
We'd
church
walk
to
down
the-
together.
Yep, go to the dance.
And the same thing with the sugaring. We would help serve the coffee and all of the maple syrup and the sauce on the snow and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
pancakes and
There were
all
a lot
that.
of things that we did, like the Ladies' Egg Bazaar.
Yeah,
Every year, that was a big thing.
yeah, great fun. But the dances were really great. I think it was Friday nights, wasn't it, that we had dances? And
Yeah.
every Friday night. So I remember growing up and learning how to square dance, and
Yeah.
really that was our social life.
Life,
That was our social life. The whole town,
yeah.
or at least all my age kids, would all be there, and so learning how to dance was really important and a lot of fun. Now the older boys would go out and drink their beer, but
Still do.
still,
Still do.
yeah,
If they drank.
if they drank.
Still do.
Not in our family. No, Bobby don't drink,
Nope.
never touched it.
But the coon supper really was important for our family because my mom is the one that cooked the coon,
Yeah.
and our house
Stunk.
stank.
She could cook it. It was very,
She
very
did, and
good.
she never taught me how to use a pressure cooker, and I still can't use a pressure cooker to this day.
I can't either.
And I'm terrified of it, because I'm afraid it'll explode.
Yeah.
But she would cook the coon suppers, take all not just the fat, but there was little glands that were really smell glands that she would have to take out of the coons. You know, they were pretty well, I think they were pretty well skinned
Yeah.
and cleaned.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah,
she
'cause
just
they
had to just cook them. And it would take days for her to cook all the coon in order to get it into the dishes to be served. And people would laugh, you know, oh, you're cooking coon.
Well, there were usually 3 settings.
Yes,
Three
Yes.
settings
Oh, yeah, it was
for,
yeah.
How many served?
I don't remember,
Well,
but there were,
Enormous.
The
there
place
were
was
a
full.
lot of,
3 times it was full.
I would
Yeah,
guess
it was
probably 63
People
times.
from all over.
All
Yeah,
over.
all over.
Oh, yeah.
they came
Yeah,
from
all over.
yeah.
Yeah.
There were 3 settings, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
similar to the ones they have now with the deer and venison suppers,
Yeah.
and
Right,
all those, yeah,
Yeah,
game supper, yeah.
game suppers,
Yeah.
I was trying to think of.
But people don't use coon now because of the
Rabies.
fear of rabies.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's right.
I went coon hunting one night with my brother.
I've been coon hunting, it's pretty cool.
My brother says, sit down and wait for the dog to bark. Okay.
It's pitch dark, it's in
Yes.
the dark.
You waited all night, probably,
No, the
right?
the dogs were pretty good. They went right on, they got them. But you sit there and say, he says, now shut up.
Yeah.
Why?
Fine.
Because we gotta listen for the dogs. All the dogs start barking, they're off, and we're trying to catch up to them.
That's it. And then when you get there, neither, the dog doesn't wanna give in, and neither does the coon, and let me tell you, there's a fight, one of
Yes.
them's gonna come out not so good.
My brother used to have to hide the coon in his jacket behind him because the dog would try to get it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And if he didn't grab that dog would go all night long coon
Absolutely, they
hunting.
won't give up.
No,
George Bell used to start milking and turn the dogs out at the same time. When he was done milking, the dogs had a coon to eat.
Wow.
sometimes the hunters had to climb the tree too.
Been known to happen.
Yeah.
That was my job when I was in charge.
So it's actually the dog that gets the coon?
Yeah, the
Yes.
dogs, they tree them.
They
They tree 'em.
They stand right, yeah.
They stay right at
won't
the
let 'em
tree.
go by-
They
won't
stay
let
at the tree.
Then you gotta shoot
And,
'em.
yeah, then you gotta shoot them
Yeah.
between
Shoot 'em
the
right
eyes.
in the tree.
Between the eyes. You gotta wait for the coon to look at you, then you shoot them.
Yeah.
You could hear that one coon saying, don't look at him, don't look at him.
But they did good.
They also used to have the Strawberry Festival
Yeah.
on Mr. and Mrs. Waite's lawn.
Yes,
Yeah,
right, that's
that's
right.
right.
Oh, that'd be,
That
that
was
was
strawberry,
another time.
big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Take
it
the
was.
jam up,
It
right?
was.
Yeah.
I don't remember
People would
that.
say, what are you doing that, you dumb dog?
You were probably away
Yeah,
then.
that's a good-
You were away then, probably.
Well, I
Probably
can't
wasn't in
remember,
the
we didn't
Middlefield
move up
until
here
later.
till 96.
Sure.
And
I don't know when that was.
they had the block dances.
Yeah.
That was so much fun. And it was like, that was the last year they had one. They never had one after that.
And the
Oh,
tree
it was
lighting.
so much fun, and they had
Kids
the
had
tree
the tree
lighting
lighting.
here, and,
Every
Yeah.
yeah.
They don't go Christmas caroling anymore.
No.
We used to put,
They
right,
used to do
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but that was coming up here for the fair years ago.
All the fairs were the good things.
The fairs were wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
We used to
We
enjoy
would
it.
camp out with our animals
Yeah.
and, you know,
Sure.
stay overnight with them.
Mhm.
We used to always be able to get a pair of men's jeans and a white shirt at George Olson's for the fair. I mean, that was a big deal. You're out.
You had to
Yeah.
have the right
Yeah.
You had
clothes.
the
Yeah.
right clothes.
Wow.
Could depend on George for that.
I remember Nancy Oles used to take the kids down to the Big Rock.
Yes.
Yes.
Remember the Big Rock?
Yeah.
It's still there.
Still there.
And she would
Still
take them down there for, to camp out,
Mhm.
and she said they were gonna go snipe hunting.
Yes.
Yes, I fell for that.
I never knew what snipe hunting was, and I don't think anybody else did.
No,
either.
we didn't know.
But the kids were down there, and they would have a great time, but they were looking for snipes.
We all fell for it.
Did you catch any?
No.
No.
You're sitting here, you say
fun.
snipe, snipe, snipe.
Yeah.
I did that in Missouri and got drunk on Pabst Blue Ribbon. Of course, I was of drinking age then. We went out snipe hunting with a guy I was in the service with.
Yeah.
And I had the bag and the stick and the beer. They said, we'll chase them down the road, and when they get there, catch them in the bag.
Yeah.
Of course, it's in the middle of the night, half lit. Never
was
did
the
catch one.
idea.
Never caught one.
We never found one either.
Boy, how they laughed after. Of course, I didn't realize it at the time. I'd had enough to drink. I figured it was really gonna happen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
The only town in Massachusetts.
That's a good.
That
yeah.
country journal, the reporter was always up here looking for a story.
Yeah.
And she came in, it was during the winter. And he told her that there had been a snow turtle sighted over in Cone Road Bridge.
Snow turtle.
And she said, snow turtles?
Big lumps
They
of
turn white in
snow.
wintertime. He put that in the country journal.
Did she really?
Really?
You get a day like today, they're really falling out in the road.
Yeah.
Snow turtles sighted on Cone Road.
Did she ever come back? Did she ever come back to see you?
And it was, you didn't tell them otherwise.
No, I didn't tell her a thing.
Oh,